I'm not going to stand there with my chin in the air and say, hit me. I'm going to nullify him. So.
How long do you think before we get to see you in the ring again?
Soon, maybe January. Lee versus Johnson, going down.
Can't wait.
So good luck to him. It'll be a challenge. It'll be very challenging for him for sure.
Hey, what's going on, Ringsiders? This is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Or if you're new, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thanks so much for your support in advance, and welcome to the channel. Let's have the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder fight next. Sure, when this fight takes place, it is not for undisputed like in 2017, 2018, before Tyson Fury returned to heavyweight boxing. Sure, both AJ and Wilder are not champions anymore. Neither of them is undefeated, as both the Bronze Bomber and Joshua got stopped in recent memory.
But even then, they still together all the time, so I mean, maybe, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I understand, but I don't understand.
Say what you want about Deontay Wilder. He's not the most articulate person, not the most technically gifted boxer, but the Bronze Bomber's right hand is among the most effective and prolific in boxing history.
When you're in training camp, you haven't had sex for a while. So
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking,
Okay, so.
like testosterone's on the high and stuff. So
Okay.
just emotion.
On the flip side, Anthony Joshua may be better in articulating his thoughts, but many people will say that he is a bit mechanic, corporate, and even a bit boring. Yet Anthony Joshua was the fighter who in 2017 brought worldwide attention back to heavyweight boxing. Now, I'm not an American, but I'm an admirer of greatness, especially within sports. So here's a basketball analogy that seems to fit these two particular fighters. See, Deontay Wilder is like a prime Russell Westbrook. Not a great shooter, fairly predictable, not looking for many ways to attack the basket other than going full force at 200 miles per hour, mostly with a spectacular dunk at the end.
Coast to coast, and he throws it down. Oh, the hammer dunk from Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook never won an NBA championship, but does have some personal accolades. In basketball terms, a triple-double is a single-game performance by a player who accumulates a double-digit number total in 3 of 5 statistical categories: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocked shots in a game. Russell Westbrook holds the record for the most NBA career regular season triple-doubles with 198, and is the only player to average a triple-double over 4 different seasons. So when all said and done, Russell Westbrook will be remembered for something extraordinary in NBA history, even though many basketball critics will and have critiqued him for his fairly one-dimensional style of play. On the flip side, Anthony Joshua reminds me of Derrick Rose. Like Westbrook, D. Rose in the beginning of his career had people in awe of his athleticism, and at just age 22, Derrick Rose became the youngest NBA regular season MVP in 2011. Although similar to Russell Westbrook, NBA insiders would argue Derrick Rose was more graceful in his style of play than Westbrook. Then in his 4th season, Derrick Rose tore his ACL, suffering a career-threatening injury. And unfortunately, that injury came about because of his style of play, relying heavily on athleticism, lacking certain fundamentals, which backfired on his joints and body, meaning the basketball world would never again see the Derrick Rose who rose to NBA prominence with his graceful yet explosive style of play in the early 2010s. Today, Derrick Rose still plays in the NBA, and though he isn't the same player as he was a decade ago, he's still somewhat of a serviceable player. Now, in order for Rose to still be able to play at the highest levels of basketball, he needed to adapt his style of play. By changing his game, Derrick Rose evolved as a basketball player. Anthony Joshua similarly evolved as a boxer. AJ isn't as reliant on his punching power as he was in the genesis stages of his boxing career. Joshua did not have an extensive amateur career, yet he won silver at the 2011 Amateur World Championships, won the gold at the 2012 Olympics in London, and turned pro while basically still learning on the job. having faced many much more experienced boxers in terms of pedigree, both amateur and pro, fighters the likes of Vladimir Klitschko and more recently Alexander Usyk. Deontay Wilder hasn't had a lot of amateur fights himself, despite having a 5-year head start on AJ, thus more pro fights than AJ. Wilder has faced a lower quality of competition just going off his resume.
If Joshua really won this fight, he know how to make it happen. Get the fans what they want to see.
But I feel Wilder will live up to his vision due to the fact he's getting older now, and I think he realised that he wants to achieve certain things before he hangs up his gloves. So yeah, I believe that he's more hungrier to make it happen than ever.
And so a Wilder versus Joshua or Joshua versus Wilder fight, even though they're not in their respective primes any longer, is still an exciting fight. Still bring qualities that can elevate heavyweight boxing, and obviously is a lucrative fight. Just going off their personalities shows the difference in the way both Wilder and Joshua approach the game.
Wilder again, batting Luis Ortiz. There it is. A minute left. Right uppercut, and it's over. Mamma mia, Deontay Wilder has done it.
I've never ever seen in the heavyweight division of a fighter going to war with one weapon in his arsenal, which is what they say is his right hand. And there's a lot more of us waiting for that opportunity as well to kick his ass.
Wilder fights on instincts, is supremely confident in his ability, even though Wilder is a limited fighter. The 2 beatings he got at the hands of Gypsy King Tyson Fury, especially in the rematch, is proof of the Bronze Bombers championship level heart, because Wilder continued fighting, actively protesting the stoppage by his corner, even though the then undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world was in no condition to continue and was forced to capitulate in round 7 on February 22nd, 2020, which turned out to be Wilder's first loss as a pro.
One champion, one face, one name. Consider him the undisputed, undefeated, unified heavyweight champion of the world. You looking at him.
Some say Deontay Wilder is deluded, but that is actually a quality one needs to be successful in a dangerous sport as boxing. That's why having a trainer such as Malik Scott proves to be a good fit for Wilder. Scott comes off as a student of the game, though not really successful as a fighter himself. At the upper echelons, he did compete in the ring, and so from an experience point of view, Malik Scott can relate to Deontay Wilder.
Oh, it's still a 3-round fight to me.
3 rounds.
Yeah, I've said that. I believe stylistically, he'll take chances in the first 3 rounds, and Deontay will clip him.
He also has an emotional bond with Wilder, which seems to be important for the Bronze Bomber. Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, is more of a thinker, more of a chess player. Even before his loss to Andy Ruiz Jr., Joshua made adjustments in his fighting style. Just rewatch the Alexander Povetkin fight for reference. AJ has experimented with multiple trainers in recent memories because AJ seems to take pride in learning stuff. And so his pairing with Derek James, I think, is a good fit for Joshua because James focuses a lot on the basics. The Word of God says, "By their fruits ye shall know them." And so although having a small stable of fighters, Derek James has been able to produce great fruits. 2 unified world champions, and with Jermell Charlo, even an undisputed world champion. Although Anthony Joshua still looked timid, even gun-shy against late replacement and really overmatched Robert Helenius, even the most hardened AJ critics cannot deny the technical improvements Joshua has made under the tutelage of Derek James. Even though it was a slow-paced fight, Anthony Joshua looked in great shape, showing no issues of stamina whatsoever. Now yes, in my observation, Anthony Joshua is still recovering from his losses against Andy Ruiz Jr. in their first fight in 2019.
You know, Joshua coming over here the first time in America, he's been built up and boosted up in height, so big, you know, and you had to come over here. Then fighting a guy you looking past and getting knocked out like that, man, that's, you know, with everything that was built up in there, that was, I would have felt embarrassed. You know, he quit. The guy gave up in the ring.
Yeah.
He got dropped 4 times and gave up.
And the 2 fights with Alexander Usyk, especially the rematch, which according to AJ himself hurt the most. But at least Joshua has been active in 2023, whereas Deontay Wilder, who after suffering 2 back-to-back defeats to Tyson Fury, seems to have 0 issues with confidence in his abilities, returning to old form.
There's a huge right hand. Down goes Helenius. Bomb Squad is back.
Yet has not been active in 2023 so far. As a matter of fact, between February of 2020, when Wilder lost his belt in a Fury rematch, until his first-round knockout victory over former sparring partner Robert Helenius in October of 2022, Wilder only fought thrice in close to 3 years, having fought a total of 3 minutes. And that's the last time the Bronze Bomber spent time under the bright lights inside a professional boxing ring. Until his next fight, he will most likely effectively have been out of the ring for another year.
I only have 3 years left, guys, and those 3 years are going to go by super fast. So with that being said, I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to waste my time nor the fans' time. See, especially Joshua is the #1 fight in the world for me. That goes out for everywhere I go. I hear people, me and Joshua. If that's the #1 fight in the world for me to have, that's what I want.
Yeah, I look at Deontay Wilder in the same fashion. He said he's got a couple of years left, and he probably wants to put me on his hit list. That's a fight that will definitely happen. Now he's more than eager. I think he's a bit older now, so he's eager to kind of make the last of his career a successful one, and he wants to fight some of the top names in the division. So yeah, I'm sure he'll be keen.
And inactivity can catch up to the Bronze Bomber come fight night. And so should Wilder versus Joshua happen next, I don't think a Wilder win is so certain as many boxing fans make it out to be. But we'll talk about that in the next episode here on Ringside Stories. Let us know what you think. Who would you pick in a Joshua versus Wilder fight should they fight next? If you're new to this channel and you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. It does help with the algorithm, so thanks so much for your support in advance. Now, if you've done that already, you're amazing. We already know that you are the true undisputed world champion. Till next time, Ringsiders, this is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching, and have a legendary day.